Well, let's talk about how chest seals work and why we would apply them. Chest seals are designed for a sucking chest wound. What they are is a vented chest seal that allows air to go out of the lungs, but it doesn't allow air to come in through the wound. So in this casualty, we've got a large open sucking chest wound. And basically what that means is that as the diaphragm extends down and the ribs come out, air now gets preferentially pulled in through the outside of the lung rather than in through the trachea and into the lungs. So the problem is that air doesn't make it into the alveoli where we have that oxygen exchange. So that's a true sucking chest wound with respiratory distress. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my chest seal out of here. It's a vented one per the COTC recommendations. First thing that I'll do is I'll take this gauze that's included with it. I'm gonna wipe so I get a good seal. I'm gonna wipe around it. I'm gonna peel off the backing. You gotta be careful because this is very sticky. And then you can see here that it's vented and I have these little channels here that'll allow air to escape out so I don't cause a tension pneumothorax. But when the casualty's chest expands, this will flatten out and it'll prevent air from coming in here. Then air goes in the mouth through the trachea, fills up the lungs, and he's able to breathe adequately. So I'm gonna place that right over the center of the wound, make sure I get a good seal. And now I've got a one-way valve here. So now when the casualty takes a deep breath, diaphragm expands, the rib cage expands out, air can't come in through this way. Instead, it's coming in through his trachea, into his chest, filling up the lungs, and he's able to breathe. Now, always important, we've made an intervention. We've got a significant lung injury. We want to continue to monitor that casualty. Even though it's vented, there's still a potential that they could develop a tension pneumothorax. So I'm gonna watch that casualty. I'm gonna monitor him. I'm gonna check his vital signs and I'm gonna continue to do so. If I believe a tension pneumothorax is starting to develop, that air is expanding outside of the lung in the pleural cavity and collapsing that lung, I can do a couple different things and it's gonna be based on your medical protocols. The first thing I can do is I can peel this off and I can take a look at that wound. If it's large enough, I might be able to get a finger in there, gloves on, of course. I might be able to get a finger in there and open that up and allow that air to escape. If that's not working, the next thing I'm gonna do is a needle decompression. You can check out some of the other videos on how to do that if your protocols allow you to do that. But that's essentially what burping it is. And then we can go ahead and replace that. And we have our chest seal back on. So anytime we have a wound to the chest and we've treated one, we also want to look throughout the rest of the chest, up into the armpits or the axilla. I want to roll my casualty, do a good exam along the back and look for any exit wounds or any additional entrance wounds. It doesn't really matter if it's an entry or if it's an exit wound, but I want to identify those and make sure I'm addressing those appropriately. The other thing you need to keep in mind is anytime there's penetrating torso trauma, one of the main problems is going to be internal hemorrhage. You just don't know the path that that projectile took inside the chest. You may be concerned about their respiratory distress, but keep in mind that also might be because they're going into hemorrhagic shock. So anytime we have penetrating torso trauma to the chest or to the abdomen, we need to make sure we prioritize them for evacuation and we want to start treating them for hemorrhagic shock. And that's how and when to apply a vented chest seal for a sucking chest wound.